as we look at this, this has happened twice from what I've researched, 1909 with Howard Taft and then 1985 with Ronald Reagan. And what's interesting to me is the Ronald Reagan comparison, because not only is the inauguration indoors, you have the hostage release, really right before Trump comes in. You had the assassination attempt, Ronald Reagan as well. Trump is kind of a Reagan-esque president in more ways than one.
And I think that what this represents, too, is that you don't have to do something just because that's how it was always done. Here's a president that, to me, hallmarks his decision-making in the same way, which is, let me assess the current situation. Here are the factors. It's not tenable to be outside, so we're going to move it inside. I mean, we see this stuff often with other large events, and I think the reality is that the storied history of this and the solemnity and the iconography that we're all going to be watching and how important and crucial this event is, all of that remains the same. And now everyone's going to be a lot more comfortable. And we don't have to look at Bernie Sanders memes and mittens on, right? The reality is we have here in New York, we're expecting temperatures colder than 2 years past, I believe, historically. So he's absolutely right to protect those Americans that are going to see this historic and wonderful event. So bravo for making a common sense decision that will, in the long run, protect a lot of Americans.
Yeah, so you heard that. And Trump is moving the entire inauguration indoors, which honestly is a little bit of a sigh of relief, because there has been a lot of things that have happened behind the scenes, and I'm going to be talking about a little bit of that here in this video. That is quite concerning. Okay, one of them is this report from the FBI. Listen to what they had to say.
We are not currently tracking any specific or credible threats to the inaugural ceremony or to the Capitol complex. We will continue to work closely with our partners to share information and identify and disrupt any threats that may emerge.
Remember what I told y'all? When they tell me something, I believe the opposite. They said they are not currently tracking any threats, so there's no threats to Trump's inauguration. Do I believe them? Hell no. I believe the exact opposite. I believe there is a major threat to Trump's inauguration. And listen, I was very nervous for that situation for a few reasons. One of them is what Dan Bongino had to say. And I'm going to play a little bit of this, what he had to say, because this guy is someone who knows what he's talking about. He is a former Secret Service agent. He predicted, unfortunately, he was right, Trump's assassination attempt. He was calling this out a long time ago, like, yo, there's a lot of holes that I'm seeing here. There's some gaps. I've been talking to some folks, and this ain't right. Things are not going the way that they should be going. Something could possibly happen here. Trump's life is in danger, and what do you know? We almost watched this man drop dead on national television. But anyway, listen to what Dan Bongino had to say about Trump's inauguration.
This is going to happen. It is, whether it happens in Times Square or someone else, it is going to happen. And there are people in charge who have wasted time on DEI bullshit. They've wasted time targeting Americans with MAGA hats, Moms for Liberty, pro-lifers, targeting the evil white supremacists around every corner. And they have not thought through the threat of a swarm of drones taking out a crowd of people or taking out one of our protectees with an inauguration right around the corner, and Donald Trump not able to do anything about it because he's not in power for 2 more weeks. You think the Secret Service is prepared for this?
So you heard that there. And it's interesting that he mentioned drones. One reason being, you guys remember the drones that were all flying around all of a sudden out of nowhere, and nobody knew what they were, where they came from, right? And I put that in air quotations because the government knew. They know exactly what's happening. And so does Trump. And Trump said, hey, once I get in office, you guys are going to get a report on what this actually is, because I think his exact words were, I find it ridiculous that they aren't telling you guys. So I will tell you once I get in office, right? But yeah, all those drones just randomly out of nowhere flying around. I got something interesting to show you guys from Breitbart. Okay. Here, let me make this a little bigger. There we go. Chinese drone giant DJI removes geofencing that protects White House, airports, and wildfires. China's DJI, the world's leading drone manufacturer, has decided to remove its long-standing geofencing feature, which previously prevented drones from flying over restricted areas such as airports, wildfires, and the White House. One of the largest drone manufacturers randomly, right before an inauguration, disables automatic geofencing, which prevents people from flying these drones over closed air spaces. Coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I have this other video that I want to show you guys of CNN. Oh, no, actually, this is MSNBC. And just listen to this. I'm not going to play the whole thing because the whole video is like 9 minutes long, so I'm not going to bore you guys with this, but just take a quick listen.
In China, Trump has become a cultural phenomenon. I mean, that's incredible to see. And we shared a little bit of that, but wait till you see what Will Ripley has to show you.
Extraordinary diplomatic moves by Chinese President Xi Jinping. A phone call Friday with Xi and President-elect Donald Trump.
I have a very good relationship with President Xi. We have been communicating with each other.
The phone call seen as a rare public signal of Xi's willingness to work with Trump, an unusual move by China's leadership. Adding to the diplomatic gesture, Xi, for the first time, sending Vice President Han Zheng to Washington for Monday's inauguration. Han, the highest-ranking Chinese official ever to attend a U.S. presidential swearing-in. Trump's return to the White House is a trending topic on Chinese social media. People are calling the latest SpaceX Starship explosion a fireworks celebration for Trump from his friend Elon Musk. China's admiration for Trump comes with an ironic twist. On social media, he's nicknamed Nation-Building Trump, a reference to how his divisive policies and personality, along with his focus on China, propped up Beijing's global standing. Also, comments like these: the Dragon King is coming back. The official photo of American Empire's King Trump. Don't worry, TikTok is the home base for Trump. He won't ban it. These Chinese kids are even learning to dance to YMCA.
So, I showed you guys that for a reason. One being, why isn't Xi coming himself and he's sending a second in command? Now, listen, let me know if I'm crazy with this, but let me know if I'm getting a little too deep into the conspiracy theories. So, the FBI told us that they aren't tracking any threats, but Dan Bongino said that there's possibly a drone attack. We have recently watched drones. China's largest manufacturer of drones, DJI, disabled geofencing, and now China is sending their number 2 in command here to America and not bringing the guy himself, but he was just in California not long ago, and his alleged reasoning for not coming is safety. But he's sending the number 2 in command. And now all of a sudden, all of these folks in China are all celebrating Trump and talking about Trump. Trump is the talk of the town in China. What does that say to me? It says we may be in for a setup. Follow me here. You do all of that, right? You send in the drones as in a drone attack. Your number 2 in command is in Washington at the Capitol. When the drone attack happens, either something happens to him, pine box maybe, or he's harmed in any way, shape, or fashion, and then China points the finger at America for harming their number 2 in command, while all of China is talking about Trump. So now it all flips and they all hate Trump, and now they have a reason to attack. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too deep into the conspiracy theories. I don't know. I just find that strange that the number 2 is coming, but not the number 1 guy. Kind of weird. If I do say so myself. But CBS actually made this report on them flying around helicopters. around the Capitol to check for dirty bombs.
An exclusive look at how security officials are prepared after months of planning.
So, crane to your left. Got it.
From only 150 feet in the air, pilots dodge buildings.
And tower on your left side. Got it.
Flying in a grid over the National Mall to scan for radiological or nuclear irregularities, threats like dirty bombs.
So you're trying to create a blueprint of what the radiation in Washington, D.C. looks like ahead of the inauguration. Correct.
Department of Energy scientist Jacqueline Brandon calls this low-flying helicopter one of just 2 of its kind, her office.
If we find a radiological irregularity, we'll investigate it even further.
Highly sensitive technology sets off alarms in the air.
That's an alarm.
That is an alarm. It's a slight variation in our spectra is what it's saying.
So you saw that. Potential of dirty bombs being in the area, and they're currently scanning for them. So I don't know, man. Y'all talk to me. What do you guys think, man? Do you guys think I'm onto something with the whole China sending over the number 2, not the number 1? Then all of a sudden, all talking about Trump, the Dragon King is back, and him being the talk of the town. I just find a little strange, just a little bit. Maybe I'm completely off and I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, right? I hope this isn't a setup to set off a war. But who knows? Who knows? It's not like China loves America. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. So I don't know, man. Something weird is going on here. The fact that the FBI came out and said, "Oh, nothing nefarious going on. Nothing at all. We're good. We're all good. Good to go. Good to go." But then you get reports like this one that I'm about to play for you. Check this out.
Breaking news from Real America's Voice.
Well, we've got some breaking news for you. It was just announced that only Congress and the Senate, along with their spouses, they will be the only people allowed in the rotunda for the swearing in. Terry, your initial thoughts on that breaking news?
Yeah, I mean, all throughout the day, there's been a lot of questions. Brian Glenn was just on us at the top of the show talking about a lot of people are wondering that are already in D.C., already out there, have their tickets, are wondering what they're going to be doing, how they'll be able to view it. Will they be able to view it, Bo?
Yeah, this is kind of what I thought is just the VIPs, so to speak, the ones that are really closely involved will be the ones closest to him. And again, that may be a weather reason, but it could also be a security reason.
Yeah.
For sure a security reason. So only people of the House and the Senate are allowed anywhere near Trump. That's interesting. Very interesting. Especially when you consider everything else that, we've been talking about here. But yeah, man, I'm happy that he's inside. I'm happy that he's taking these precautions. I don't want to see anything happen. I just want to see this man actually become the official president of the United States of America and fix this so that we don't have to go through this crap again. Do I think that the weather played a part in this? Yeah. I mean, it gave him a little bit of cover to just say, oh, yeah, this is just the weather, to not set off any alarm bells. But of course, we're going to do some investigative work, of course. But I don't think that's the major reason. I think Trump would have loved to have done it outside, even if it were cold. Just speed it up a little bit, right? Get me out of here, coach. But I definitely think he would have loved to have done it outside again and just had that iconic moment, obviously. But it's just too many threats. Too many threats. Once you've been hit once, listen, I would be doing the same thing. I don't care if it was warm and sunny outside. Unless they had like the thickest of bulletproof glass around me and I knew that we had, everybody on point, which, hey, somebody call up Uncle Trump, man, because I'll stand on point for him. I'll be a guard. Gosh darn it. If he needs some more people to be on the lookout, I'll be out there, all right? I ain't saying I got sniper aim, but I got some good aim, okay? Seriously. Because, man, we do not need one of those moments again that happened in Pennsylvania. But, yeah. Talk to me. Crazy times, but they're almost over. Peace and love. I'm out.